Rodriguez is a former LAPD captain and a former Baltimore PD deputy commissioner. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I can see both things. It sounds kind of dystopian to have robots with lethal force, but also it's probably going to keep some officers safe and may prevent other folks from dying that don't have to or even getting injured. So where do you stand on the use of potentially deadly force by robots, which are controlled by police?
I think the key here is not so much where we stand in law enforcement or the experts, it's what the community allows us. And what I'm seeing is while this could be a very viable tool to prevent the loss of human life from officers going into a very dangerous situation that we've seen result in the death of an officer, the community is saying, wait a minute, we're not ready for this. We saw this sentiment coming out of the Ferguson when we had a presence of militarized police officers, and the community is clear. And I think the city and county of San Francisco, what they're doing is they're listening to their community. We operate within the confines that they provide for us.
Well, that was actually one of the questions I was going to ask. There is a strong protest culture, if you will, in San Francisco. In Dallas, where we saw this used successfully to take down somebody who was shooting police officers, there is not quite the same protest culture. And so I just kind of wonder, do you think that this might have died in San Francisco or might be put on hold in San Francisco, but we're going to see it, if we're not already seeing it, in some other location?
Look, crime is up nationally. We know that. We see that. And I think what we're seeing here is a police chief who is forward-thinking and a community who's forward-thinking, trying to bring additional resources. However, we'll have to wait and see. This is not new technology. It could be a viable technology. And I think further understanding from the community, which is always a key issue when you bring in new technology, certainly as this one that somewhat shocks the moral consciousness of the communities we serve. It remains to be seen. I could see personally, as a leader of an organization, former leader, where some limited situations under some very strict guidelines, this could be implemented with the ultimate goal of saving life.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to for the folks that don't like this idea. Even the city council member that we just had on said, it sounds like it's something out of a science fiction movie and we shouldn't have it on our city streets. There are going to be guidelines in place, but people are worried about it sort of getting out of control somehow or someone doing something accidentally. And so I kind of wonder, if this technology has been around, how strict are the controls and how much could it be kept under control to make sure everybody stays safe and that it's used for only what it's supposed to be used for?
So you're absolutely right. This is not new technology. It is very safe. We use robots, as you know now, and you've illustrated before, for bomb detonation, for identifying barricaded suspects. The newness of it here is weaponizing them. And that is something that we will have to work with our communities to see if they understand it. And you bring up great questions. I'm sure the community has it. One is it's not going to be an autonomous. There will be a human at the other end that will be abiding by the policies. We need to talk about how this cannot be hacked by someone else. It cannot be rogue, for example. And you're not talking about hundreds and thousands of armed robots cruising down San Francisco streets. You're talking a very specified response to a very unique set of circumstances that present a very realistic threat to any officer that approaches.
Well, so it's all on hold right now. We'll have to see if they decide to bring it back or if it just dies. That's Jerry Rodriguez, law enforcement expert for us. Jerry, thank you.
Thank you, sir.